Welcome to Pre-Game Show here at Friday Night Fish Talk.
Once again,
the last show of the year and the last show of the season. Is this the third or second season?
That is a good question.
Is this the third season? Wow. The end of the third season. So it's going to be a good one. This is just the pre-game show where we welcome everybody. We saw a bunch of all-stars already out there. Miss Doreen and Tyler and Carol and Miss Beth. And
appreciate y'all coming on.
There's Tyler. Happy New Year,
Happy New
sir.
Year, brother.
Dale is off.
Appreciate y'all tuning in.
Who else is out there? Say hello, comment. Do us a favor, guys, since this is the last show of the year especially. Give us a share.
Maybe one or two.
Can I use my top fan badges to redeem some Little Debbie cakes?
Yes.
As long as they're not oatmeal pies, yes. Absolutely.
Those are Phillies.
All right. So, again, this is just the pregame show. It's where we'll welcome everybody. We'll be getting started with the actual show here soon. And we have one of my favorite segments that we've ever done.
We have a mess in front of us for a good reason.
We're going to have a big mess tonight. We're really excited. So, we'll be talking about that soon. Oh, Vinny is also here, Miss Beth said. I think that's what I...
Hi, Dad.
Oh, Vinny is driving, but says hello. Miss Beth, please tell Vinny there's a very funny comment that Louie made in a video we're going to be playing tonight. So that's probably one of my favorite. So how was everybody? Has anyone fished the cold
How was
weather?
the ice fishing this week?
Tell us about it.
It's gotten warmer.
The
Fish
air
up.
has gotten
Really?
warmer.
Yeah.
Air
I mean, the
has
water
gotten
temps come up at like, what, 10 degrees maybe?
Yeah, but
In the flats.
If you run across the water, it feels like
Cold.
It's awful.
Cold. Go from the airboat from
Jamie,
in the islands
good
to the
evening
outer.
to you, sir.
It is a solid 10-15 degree difference.
Again, it's just the pregame show. We'll be getting started soon. Billy, have you been fishing lately?
I have not. I've been, sightseeing. Lots and lots of sightseeing.
Dale said he's going tomorrow. Dale, what are you going to go for? What's your targeted species?
Seriously. White drum? Red drum?
We'll be hearing it from the guys tonight on what they recommend going out for.
One species that's been chewing like crazy.
What, we have weather, starting at noon tomorrow?
Somewhere in there.
Is it supposed to be windy before? I haven't even looked.
It's supposed to be, I think, like 12 to 15. Nothing terribly wild. It's definitely doable.
Jamie, Sunday looks like a beautiful day.
Sunday does look very nice.
What are you going to be going for, Jamie?
Ooh, Homosassa trout.
That's something we need to go try. I've never fished
be different.
Homosassa.
It'd be different.
Scott, Happy New Year to you as well.
Oh, boy.
All right, so apparently we have a good comment from Carol coming in. My skin gets too ashy. Jesus.
I thought black don't crack, Carol.
Oh. So Jamie's going to be
Trout
going
Reds.
for Trout Reds. I've got a feeling that before that front actually pushes through, it should be damn good in the morning.
I do agree.
Very
Especially
good.
since this whole week that's been a little rough on the chew.
Yeah. Except for a few species, but we'll leave that to the guys to talk about tonight.
I didn't catch any.
Well, I tell you what, Sean says the sailfish have been biting good.
Whoa, nice to know.
I wonder, do the sailfish bite when it's real cold? What happens to pelagic fish when it starts freezing, Louie?
Isn't the pelagic side already cold?
No.
Does it even get colder?
I
Huh?
don't think it ever really gets cold. It'll never get that cold.
But what
I would
happens?
imagine they go super
I mean, it's
deep
600
and
foot of
freeze.
water. What's the difference at the surface?
I'd imagine that the bite would be kind of tough. I'd imagine those
Down
fish
there with a
go
big old
really
treble
deep.
hook, just hoping for the best.
See floating sailfish. All right, let's get started with the show.
Beyond the woods, down the twists and the turns, through the marsh, lies the knowledge needed to fish the nature coast.
Dude, he came all the way out of the water.
Fish Talk.
All right, everybody, welcome to
Friday Night Fish Talk, presented by the one and only
Phillips Auto Group.
God love him.
Ah, gotta love them so much. I'm excited. I'm taking the boys in their own boat fishing next week.
Oh,
I am pumped about that.
nice.
So the whole Christmas present.
That'd be a fun run.
Yeah. We're gonna go try to find a push pole out there too. Damn, how can I get a feature? Carol, anytime. We've invited you a million times.
Yes. I mean, you came on board once. Yeah, you came on board once and there was a test taster.
That's right.
Yeah.
Well, I think what we need to do next.
Well, yeah, there's this. That would be. Yeah, taster, whatever it would be. We tried our scallops.
Test taster. Have you heard all of the fish die off from the cold? I heard talk about it, but I have not seen it.
Yeah,
yes,
we saw it.
And it
It's still out
happens. It's Mother Nature. The guys are going to actually talk about that as well tonight. Primary species that were killed during that freeze was snook.
Oh yeah.
But
a lot of catfish too, which was
a lot of ladyfish.
not a loss.
But I like the guys when they were talking about earlier the pros and cons of it. So
Yeah.
let's let them talk about that
Natural
a little
selection.
bit. So guys, tonight we're doing an end of the year recap. We've got a video that the crew put together of highlighted stuff that happened this year on the show. A couple special guests, but we've got some all-star players in the house tonight.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So we've
Got a few.
got Captain Teddy over there with Captain Louie on the Tackle Table Talk.
Mullet man himself.
Nature Coast Financial Advisors. And then we've got Captain Kata with Captain Zach on the Ayinde Matthews State Farm Casting Couch. So
Look alive, look alive.
they're going to be talking about what's happened this year at the fishery. They're going to be giving up-to-date fishing reports as well. Teddy and Louie are going to be talking about some of the big tackle items that have came out this year that's really made a huge impact in our industry.
Things that are working around here.
Things that are working. But before we get started, Sean put together a video of the Ho 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 Fishing for Dough,
That
the
was an
third
awesome
annual recap. So let's watch that real quick.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, shoot.
All right, so there's the recap. Billy, like you said, that was a great,
Awesome
successful event. We raised just under $13,000. That is all that went directly back into the community to buying Christmas gifts.
Pure joy.
And then we donated $5,000 to the Shop with the Cop program, which they do the same thing, but they do more of a personal.
It's a little more intimate on that one. I mean, they let the kid pick it out.
Yeah,
And that was the coolest part.
I tell you what, you want to humble yourself? Go watch that program, in action. That's pretty cool.
Good to see some lit up faces. They're happy with it.
On both sides too.
Oh yeah, I mean it's heartwarming.
Yeah, absolutely. So, thank you for everyone that sponsored, that participated. 99 anglers. So that is our official largest. That was 99 competing anglers.
Yep, not that signed up, but actually fished it.
Yep. So that was our largest one to date, and we are excited to be announcing the date soon for next year. We're going to obviously do it bigger and better, so we're really excited for that. Now, Billy, I'm really curious. You know, we've talked only a little bit about it. You haven't got to spend a lot of time at the docks in between the airboat tours after Christmas and the fishing charters. What do you see out there as far as fish movement after a huge freeze like that? Like, do you actually see fish? What's the deal? Mullet, anything?
2 days after that freeze that we had, absolutely not. I couldn't find a soul for fish out there. Running out on the airboat in the flats, I mean, the waters are all crystal clear. It's beautiful to be out there, but nothing's moving. I didn't find anything moving until about 2-3 days ago. Started watching redfish here and there popping up. I'm starting to see schools of mullet. And today, I mean, it was absolutely stunning with the amount of fish. Yesterday, I even found inshore grouper. I mean, it was nice being able to get out there and see some life coming back to it, because the first 2 days after that front, all I see is belly ups going through a lot of the backwaters. Thank goodness there are all a lot of small fish, nothing too big, but still fish kill. I was cold.
A lot of snook, catfish, ladyfish.
Mm-hmm.
I only personally saw one redfish.
I did not see any redfish belly up. I saw quite a few snook, nothing over maybe 20, 25 inches was biggest.
You know, and it was neat to see like the amount of snook that were right here next to the
Oh,
ramp.
they huddled right in too.
It was cool. So like, what happens if they get that big freeze? And I made a joke on my charter today when they were asking me, well, why don't the rest of the snook get into the canals to stay warm, or the springs? I said, because they don't get the weather network.
Right.
There. So, but like some of those fish are smart enough that they can start feeling it, start seeing it,
Feel that pressure change.
feel the pressure change, and they move into where it's warmer.
Yeah.
Some
Getting into some depth. It happens.
But it's Mother Nature. It is what it is. What was our last freeze? 3 years ago?
Last good one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think it was bigger than this as far as fish kill. So I remember it made
I remember
the
seeing
news and-
big fish
Yeah.
killed a few years ago. This year, I mean,
I've heard a lot of
they're
things
out there, but
up
no.
north is a lot worse than it was down here.
Oh, I
Really?
can imagine.
Like
Oh
Chris
yeah, I
River-
saw that trout and
Chris River back there by the causeway and all that stuff. It was a lot.
I actually found a dead triple tail today.
Really?
Yep. Floating through the reef.
I saw a few dead turtles.
Brutal.
But-
I mean, it got cold.
So it was a dead zone.
It was.
and
I
it
don't
was-
know.
It was like that on fishing charters too. I mean, it's just
Yeah.
it's how it is. But there's always a backup plan, and there's always a type of fish that's going to be biting after a heavy freeze like that. But
Oh,
again,
yeah.
the guys on the casting couch is going
You
to
just
talk
have to
about
find
that
them.
tonight. Yeah, you gotta be able to get to them.
Yes.
Or you got to be able to have the right phone number for a guy that'll get you to him. But besides that, Billy, I mean, dolphin, you know, I notice a lot near shore, offshore.
Yeah. I mean, once again, like dolphin, I didn't see 2-3 days after the front. Everything's starting to come back to life. The water temps are reaching 60-ish degrees. Air temps are reaching up there. I mean, everything's coming back quite nicely. The only thing I was able to find on my tours, which was pretty funny, is super cold as it was wild pigs.
Oh, yeah.
That was
talked
it.
about that.
Pigs everywhere. No fish to be found.
Clear water inshore.
Absolutely beautiful.
That's one of my favorite parts about a freeze.
Yep. Absolutely beautiful. No matter where you went, backwaters, out towards the reef area, it was all crystal clear.
Let's talk about one more thing that's funny too, and then we'll go over to the tackle table talk. But it was the day before my first grouper charter back after that freeze, and Jacob went out that day.
Right.
And I was waiting for him to come back in because I did an inshore trip, and I was waiting for him to come back in to see how he did. I said, Jacob, how what? And I see him walking down a grouper down the dock. It's like, man, there's hope. And he's like,
Yeah.
we got one.
You got one.
I said, how'd you do it? He's like, it's the only one. So we saw it belly up, but we saw it breathing, so we netted it.
Dip, net, and grouper.
So, but it was a keeper. But all right, well, let's go over to tackle table talk. Let's go see what Louie, with his guest Teddy over there, has got to say about this end of the year recap on some great tackle that came out, and about some grouper features too after that freeze. Louie, what happened with that?
That grouper fishing after this freeze has been tough, and it's going to be tough for a while. But before we get there, this is Tackle Table Talk presented by Nature Coast Financial Advisors. I saw Gary Marriage does it.
Oh, did you?
But yeah, after the freeze, is it? Can you hear me? My mic's on. Can you hear me now? So after the freeze, obviously obviously the water got like, Sean was firsthand in the water, so he knew that it was 48, 49, 42, sorry. So obviously that made stuff really hard. Offshore, it still was probably, I think today I saw 60.2 was the most that I saw. But hopefully we're on the up and up here, and we'll go from there. But what's crazy, something we're going to talk about, big changes for the year in the grouper side of things. I'll let Teddy talk about other stuff, but has been the use of swim baits. 3 ounce, 2 ounce swim baits in any color, green, dark purple, really, yeah, pink. It really doesn't matter. It's just I think it's more of just the action. Maybe something that's just a little bit different. They've had plugs pulled across their heads for years now, so maybe just the swim bait just changes a little bit. Gives them a little bit different action. Definitely gets a reaction strike out of a lot of fish, and when that thing falls to the bottom, it seems like they have to have it. I would definitely say that I caught, and I think I've said this before on here, I've caught 65% of my keeper fish this year have come on an NLBN.
Wow.
Which is, compared to last year, I mean, we maybe caught 1 or 2. We never really fished. We used them maybe 1 or 2 times. So this year it was almost everybody had one in their hand at some point during the day. It is a crazy tactic that we really enjoy using. What you got, Zach? No? I would think that next year there'll be something else, but I'd imagine that using an NLBN or Maddox or any kind of swim bait for that matter is going to stick around for a long, long time. But that's more of like the offshore thing is kind of what I've been doing for the past 6 months. Feels like for years. But you got anything that's changed, you think, inshore? I know you got a new watercraft this year, so that would definitely change
the
your.
skip definitely made it easier to run more people and more trips with that. So that was pretty nice for me. But tackle-wise, I don't think anything really changed too much.
Yeah, that's the hard thing about inshore fishing. It's hard to change.
Yeah, even just basically size of jig heads or your leader.
I noticed this year that you didn't need to use a whole lot of super light leader to get those bites. Like in years past,
not at all.
There were some times we needed to use 10-pound or 15-pound fluoro to get the trout to bite or the redfish to bite in those holes. And this year it just doesn't seem like that's something that we need to have happen.
I was using 30 for majority of the year actually, and I run 30 just because of this possibility. So, but yeah, I'm only using 20 right now. You can drop down to 15 right now, but 20, I haven't had any issues with that. So
yeah, I mean that's we talk about the leader and we talk about some baits, and there's another bait that's kind of really helped us out, and that's saltwater assassin that's really helped us. With those great big, I call them dumb looking because they kind of are. They got a big bulb and then a small little tail, and you can pull those across the flats. And for some reason in our area they work really well. I don't know if they mimic some kind of pinfish or mud minnow or something like that.
Eel.
Yeah, some kind of eel or something like that. I mean, you've seen eels in redfish's belly. I've seen them little sand eels and stuff like that.
Yeah, definitely.
But the cool part about that bait is they've got so many different colors and stuff like that it will, make it so that throughout the seasons we can change from watermelon red or maybe some other color if there even is another color besides watermelon red.
Mm-hmm. Another trick is when you're using those baits is to rig it weedless like you would a Texas rig for bass fishing. That is by far going to be your best option if you're going to skip under mangroves, like on a high tide. If you're using just a jig head or whatever with a bare hook, you're going to get snagged way more often. So if I do throw anything like that, I try to use that Texas style rig, and it's actually just a regular like bass worm hook.
For sure.
So that's another thing too.
Something I noticed this year that I'm sure they'll get into. It seemed like in years past when we were red fishing in we'll talk like August, September, it seemed like those fish were in years past so far up under the bushes that it was hard to get to them. You had to have a bait that swam under there. And
Absolutely.
It seemed like in the past year or two, did he cut me off?
It was on a commercial.
What just happened? Were you falling asleep?
No, I'm trying to fix my ears.
Are we muted or no?
Wait, so people can hear us?
That's funny.
I hope they can't hear you.
So can we hear the video too?
End of the year. Last episode.
Nice. Sean hasn't messed up all year.
Until the last one.
Oh no, he's messed up this year.
While this video is on, let's talk about a huge game changer. Is the Hydra deck that Extreme Decalz started doing.
Pretty sweet.
Have you been following the stuff that Brian and Larry and those guys are
They've done
doing?
some really nice setups. I saw Jade even started having Brian make them for tailgates. When you drop the tailgate, you got a cushion to sit on. Pretty slick. Happens when you drive forwards. You got to have that.
You gotta have that, yeah.
Yeah, when you break down on the side of the road.
Sorry, Jade, had to say it, but I do like it. It was just your finger, Sean.
That's what they always say.
Glitched. So wait, so can people still hear us? Okay, so let's go on with the show.
I was starting to give away way too many secrets as is, so.
Well, all right. You guys talked about saltwater assassin, the no live baits needed, and the Maddox, which it's really funny to see. You know, you're driving through like different boats and stuff out there. You're passing by, and so many people have switched from throwing plugs, which is not only is it dangerous, to be very honest.
No doubt.
It's one of those things that
it's tiring.
It's
I was gonna say
tiring.
it'll wear you out.
It's expensive.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Very expensive.
It's only
so
$18 a plug when you lose it.
So what is the what's the cost difference between that and?
Well, a plug costs anywhere from $12, and a swim bait costs $3 for the head and $3 for the grubs.
Yeah, so if you
It's
lose,
half.
it's $6 versus 20.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a
And-
huge
And
difference.
some of those plugs are $12.
Yeah,
you
some
know,
of
like
them
the
are
nicer, the
A lot of them are
extra,
like
they're
20,
like,
25.
Yeah.
And I can guarantee you, I've caught 100 keepers on the same jig head I have on
Yeah.
my
I
rod.
bet. Those are real strong.
Yeah.
I really like those. Those are good.
Oh yeah, little mustad
I started
9.
throwing those instead of the plugs. You know, like when I'm in the mud boat throwing for grouper, I'll throw those instead of the plugs, and we've had success.
and
Did you
guys,
say
In the
throwing
mud
for
boat?
grouper in the mud boat?
have you
You've
seen
never
them?
seen my pictures,
On
Media.
IG?
bro?
Yeah, Carlos and him have been taking the mud boat out for grouper.
That's awesome. That's really cool.
Man, if it's a good weather day, I'll be like, hey, we're gonna try for grouper.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie. What I found on the airboat was mounted grouper yesterday.
And everybody.
Oh, here we are.
There we go.
You know what? That went really smooth. Maybe we should start a podcast instead of, I mean, that was pretty good.
You know, there's a lot of guys in Tampa Bay that do that. Actually.
It went really smooth right
Yeah,
there.
they do like podcasting or something like this.
It's the same thing, except for they can see us.
Well, exactly.
Yes, I agree with Carlos 100%.
What did he say? I can't read it.
The heavy jigs.
Ah, yes. I'm blind.
All right, so biggest tackle apparel brand change in 2022 that you guys have seen. And if you need a clue, look to your left and right.
It's on my head.
It's on my
So,
head.
you know, next to us here.
Oh, we're talking about these?
Yep. Sean.
As soon as he switches over to our three faces, we'll tell you more about it.
Thank you, Teddy. There we go.
Which ones are these? Because these are amazing. I
Scott,
actually
we
look good in
agree.
these.
You see?
Absolutely. He's rocking them.
Better.
See?
Looks better.
Did y'all hear
Alright,
what
so-
Teddy said?
In all
We're talking
seriousness,
about the Bahios.
the Bahios.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think, when did we start with Bahio? What was this? Are we a
July
year and a half?
2021. Yeah,
So we're a year and a half
Yep.
in now. Because I know that, was it July? We started in July because I know that last year when we went to ICAST, we'd already had them.
this year.
So I still need to get that knife from my
Sure.
cast.
Yeah.
And last year.
Yeah. Last
So so
July.
sure.
Because ICAST is like mid-July.
Okay. What was cool was when we started with them, no one really knew how it was going to go or how the competition was going to react. obviously they react very poorly. But it's definitely going to be a huge, it's probably the biggest thing we've had all year long as far as the biggest change to our fishery as what we use from day to day.
Yeah, to be able to see the fishery.
Yeah.
You know, the biggest thing in our area is a lot of times it's sight fishing. We're seeing the pushes or seeing the water change or the watercolor change or anything like that. And this is definitely, as Gary likes to use the term, a game changer.
Yes. Yes. Game changer.
And it is. It's as much as we love to agree with Gary all the time, it is the truth. It is a game changer. I don't think I'll ever go any other way. I know that we pretty much have them all around here.
I think we all do.
Yeah.
I think my favorite thing,
even in other marinas and stuff like that.
besides the lenses, is look. I wear mine. What are those little things you call that you keep your hair back?
Scrunchy.
I don't know, something. You keep your hair back with them. I wear these things literally from when I wake up to when I go to bed. And what's amazing to me is the rubber does not come off of them.
Yeah.
Those the other brand, I mean, all the rubber's gone, and then I'm sitting there on the boat and I look down and my glasses literally fall off my face. You know?
Yeah.
So that's besides the lenses, that's my favorite thing about them is the rubber doesn't come off.
They're
of them.
comfortable. I find myself all the time walking, like last night, you know, it was sunset, I was headed home, pulled into Home Depot, wore my glasses through Home Depot, and then some elderly lady had to make a smart-ass comment about wearing stylish sunglasses and not taking off my face, and she laughed, and we actually talked about videos. But Matt, who's one of our live audience guests tonight, he was telling me a story yesterday, right? He fished with Carlos last year.
Yeah, sometime last year.
Sometime last year, and Carlos was wearing a different brand, but Matt got in with the kick sooner than most, and he was actually pointing fish out, and Carlos was like, "What do you?" And then I'm pretty sure that was the trip that Carlos came back and was like, "All right, I'm gonna get a pair." I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, you can't have your clients pointing fish out that you don't see. There has to be something has to change.
Yeah. But you go to different tournaments, like the Florida Redfish Series. But you witnessed it, Carter. Everybody has Bajíos now.
Yeah.
All
There's a reason
those big
for it.
names. Scott Martin, Rick Murphy, obviously.
The only downfall that I know of with the Bajíos is when you are fishing, you actually get to see the fish you miss.
Yeah. It's
That's the
frustrating.
downfall.
Yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right.
Like you can literally see it laying on the bottom and just know it's not eaten.
Yes,
I'd rather just
no,
not see the fish.
Because remember, Billy, when you pointed out the spoon, where you got frustrated, like they're just, we're rubbing it across their faces, and Billy let a spoon just fall down, and then the dang redfish came up and picked the spoon up off the bottom. Billy's like,
Watch it.
That's how we're doing it. You just let them sit on the bottom. And then, sure as heck, that was how we did it.
Not one of those cold days.
That was a very cold day. All right, guys, so we're going to go to a commercial break, and when we come back, we're going to go over to the casting couch and talk about the biggest changes of 2022 or the biggest highlights for as far as the fishery, and then an up-to-date fishing report with Captain Zach and Captain Cotta.
Vagabond dreaming takes me through the night. Sipping whiskey by the river, living out of sight. 100 miles an hour in the fast lane. 100 miles an hour toward the light. Sun does come. 100 miles an hour in the fast lane. 100 miles an hour in the fast lane. 100 miles an hour till I'm done.
How's it going, guys? Captain Zac Zachry here with Captain Carter Wade on the Ayinde Matthews State Farm Casting Couch. we're going to talk about what changes we've seen over the past year compared to years before, pros, cons, basically everything like that. I know the freeze is going to be a big concern for everybody when these fish finally start going belly up. Everybody's going to, I don't go on social media, but I know there's going to be all kinds of posts. Oh my God, everything's dying. But anyways, it's a natural thing that happens.
There hasn't been a lot of posting about the dead fish.
They hadn't floated yet.
Yeah, I mean, I've heard a few things, but I haven't really seen much from where we are down here.
Well, it warmed up today. Everybody's going to be out on the water tomorrow. It's going to be kind of warm tomorrow.
I was definitely seeing more and more floating today.
Yeah. The eagles and buzzards and ospreys are happy.
Loving it.
Ozello's going to smell terrible.
Yeah, it will. Because they'll be stuck in here forever. So let's start with you. What have you seen change this year or from previous years?
I really haven't seen much change other than I haven't caught a lot of sheephead.
That's very true. I didn't even think about that.
Sheephead fishing hasn't been nearly what it was last year.
That's very true.
But everything else seems to be about the same. The redfish bite's been okay. I don't think it's been as good as last year, but
I think with the sheephead, it went from warm, and then over the course of 2 weeks, 3 weeks, it dropped down, very low temperatures very quickly.
Yeah.
And so I think those sheephead were probably staged up, ready, and then when that water really dropped, they're out. Because I know my buddy Justin Diamond, he does a lot of bow fishing out of Yankeetown, up Inglis area, and then all around the power plant.
Yeah.
And he said it was probably 3 or 4 days they were stacked up, and they should have stayed like that for a couple weeks to a month. And then right before that hard freeze, everything shot offshore.
see, I saw them staged up on the reef on a rock point that I always fish. There was at least 500 of them.
That's
you couldn't
amazing.
even see the bottom, and that was a month ago.
It's crazy. And I haven't even talked to anybody to see if anybody's been out to the foul area to see if those fish have started showing up on the foul area or out there at the villages or whatever. Have you been out there, Louie?
Jacob told me he's been seeing stuff in the foul area.
He said he's been seeing them?
Sheeps, yeah, so they're starting to come in.
That's awesome.
I would
That's
imagine they're there, but they probably just haven't started to really bite yet. It's probably just now starting to get warm enough to where they're going to start biting as that temperature kind of settles.
One thing I noticed this year compared to other years is we've had more snook than it seems like ever here.
Oh, yeah.
That's changed now, with our 20-degree water temperature. Not 20-degree water temperature, but 26-degree air temperature. I was on the phone earlier looking up some facts on these snook, and I did not know, but a snook actually becomes lethargic at 65-degree water temperature, and so they'll slow down feeding and everything like that, and they'll actually start to die at 50-degree water temperature, which I thought that was
interesting,
pretty cool. Well, not cool, but pretty interesting to know once that water temperature hits 50 degrees, that's where you're going to see those fish starting to belly up. So obviously,
I heard something water temp wise around like 46, 47 is what I was gathering from a few of the guides that were leaving.
Gotcha. Yeah.
So that makes sense on why they went belly up.
Yeah, and a couple other, since we're on the subject of snook, but I didn't know those things. The females, they live up to 3 years.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
And the males, they only live 15 years. The females takes 5 to 6 years for them to reach maturity. And then the males takes 2 years. Pretty cool.
I had no idea.
Yeah. Google.
Do you think with the big snook kill that we had, do you think it'll be a little easier on the redfish for feeding?
There's so much bait out here. I've heard people say that the snook push the redfish around and all that. I mean, I don't fish St. Martin's Reef near as much as you guys do.
Yeah.
But I mean, I don't know. I mean, you catch redfish and snook in the same school.
Oh yeah, they'll hang all together.
Yeah, I don't think that really has. I don't think one pushes the other one out much at all.
And I noticed it a lot more this year that the snook and redfish were together more this year than any years past.
Okay, yeah, I gotcha. And I honestly think a redfish is going to push a snook out of the way to eat. I mean, he's like a little bulldozer,
They're a bit of a pig.
They are. Now, that's basically all I saw with changes. I mean, Scallops are always up and down. You never know what's going to happen with them. You know, you're always going to have cold weather. You'll have a couple years of warm weather, and then you might have a year or two of cold weather, and it's going to, you know, knock our snook population down. But I mean, if you guys are going to be wanting to fish for snook this weekend, I would highly, highly recommend going into the Homosassa River or the Crystal River and fish. I mean, where are you going to find warm water? Where do the manatees go? Well, they go to the springs. You know, it's no secret. I'm sure somebody's going to get upset, but
yeah,
no secret. You go to the Homosassa Fish Bowl and you see 6 billion snook there. I
That's it.
You know, maybe you want to fish outside the buoys when the sun's going down when they go and feed. You know, it's kind of a no-brainer. Black drum this last week have been
Everywhere.
epic, amazing. Lots and lots and lots of them. I did not fish today. I know, Carter, you fished today. You said that the trout fired up good for you.
Yep. The trout finally started to bite. The black drum, I caught them pretty much everywhere I went. And a lot of holes that I don't normally ever catch them in, I caught them in every one.
I like them. They taste good.
Yes, they do.
How about your redfish today?
We caught a lot of shorts.
A lot of shorts.
We caught one keeper, pulled off a keeper, and for
The
most
keeper
part, we
that you
probably-
caught, is he like stuffed? Because you figured they would have so much stuff in the reel, because a lot of pinfish died out there
He
too.
was full of bait.
Yeah.
When I cleaned him, he was full of bait.
Yeah. This is when they need to hold a tournament.
You know my
Yep.
favorite part about this, Zach?
Hmm.
Is Carter can't BS about his trip today because his clients are here right
That's very true. I just don't know that. So if you guys are going to fish this weekend, it has warmed up. You might want to go out, check the foul area out. That's that area that says foul area on your GPS. You can locate some rocks out there, and you might be able to get some sheephead, some grunt, maybe some mangrove snapper. I'm not 100% sure. If you're not wanting to go way out, I'd recommend, like I said, staying in the river. A lot of these fish are going to move in the river. Redfish, trout, snook, mangrove snapper, all kinds of different stuff move into the river. So that's going to be a great spot for you guys to fish.
Even like a couple good friends of mine, they've been catching a lot of black drum sheephead on the little rock piles in the Crystal River.
Oh, cool.
Yep. Every one that they've hit, they've been catching a lot of black drum and a lot of sheephead.
That's awesome. I'm ready for these redfish to start firing up, though, because it's been 2 trips, no redfish for Zach. Lots of other fish, but no redfish.
Tomorrow should be the main day where the redfish should fire up.
better today. I feel like, you know, it's that warm weather. But tomorrow or Sunday should be really good.
Yeah, tomorrow.
Sunday's gonna be a pretty day.
They should really get to feeding like crazy.
I'm interested to see what January has to hold in February. I mean, heck, we already plummeted into the 20s, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, does it get colder, hotter? Like, did we already get the cold out of the way?
I know. I mean, heck, last Christmas, wasn't it? It was hot, wasn't it? I
Yes.
can't remember. I think.
Yeah,
Maybe.
Yeah, last Christmas was like 70s, 80s.
Yeah.
Didn't feel like Christmas.
That was my favorite part about this Christmas, is it felt like Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it did. You're right.
All right. So, anything else, guys?
I think that's pretty much got it covered.
Great job as always. That's the Ayinde Matthews State Farm Casting Couch. All right, guys. So before we get set up for the grand finale, which you are not going to want to miss, we're going to do a quick recap of 2022 Friday Night Fish Talk and some of the highlighted moments that happened right here.
Oh shit. Here we go again.
Old fashioned. Jesus.
Hey, at least you got your last name right.
He did.
Hey, how about the new bubble display?
It looks great. It's a good looking dude. Looks great.
I can try to find his number for you if you want.
I mean,
Stick with, you know, your tried and true baits. For me, watermelon red. I smoked these boys. If you guys watched the Waters episode, any of them, I outfished all of them every single time.
Any
It's
of
all been on watermelon red. Okay. Yeah.
I can't even reach it. What the? Come on, mine's almost gone. Mine's almost gone.
Man, this shirt really makes me look round.
I think it's you round is what makes you look round.
Round. I don't know. Maybe it's
Welcome
lighting.
to my life. A Friday Night Fish Talk pregame show.
So,
The secret question.
beautiful.
So we're gonna make it up. It's my favorite part of the night. I talked to Sean about this. Bree hates when I just make up a question. Oh, she is so pissed.
This is Friday Night Fish Talk presented by Phillips Auto. I'm Billy. I'm Gary. And we're here to talk about fishing.
We're going to talk a little bit about knots for docking your boat. It seems like that's a big problem for a lot of people. You know, we've had boats sink in Crystal River this week, and I'm pretty sure that if they were tied up correctly, maybe they wouldn't have sunk. But all right, let's go over here.
And I'm here with my lady, Marina. She's tired and wants some scratching and everything like that. Good girl.
Casey hooked a 33-incher in the butthole.
Okay.
She would say I'm much better looking.
Wait, are we live? Oh, wait, no. This is Zach.
I've got a box here that Zach was talking about. My dad pretty much just put it together. So I'll go ahead and just say right now, my dad does all my maintenance on all my boats.
I'm new to this game. I look at this and I'm like, who the heck would throw kitchenware at a fish?
And
Welcome back. Oh. I thought it was welcome back to Friday Night Fish Talk. And you pointed at the screen.
You nailed it, Zach. I like it.
I thought you were going to do that at the same time. Like,
presented by.
I went down and lost the ball.
All right, guys. So that was a 2022
The old recap.
Friday Night Fish Talk. So thank you guys so much for being here for us, and you know, guys, thank you all for being there for them. You know, all the time we hear people come in and say, because of what Zach taught us about watermelon red, Little John's over and over.
We're going to buy the gold ones.
We catch fish now because of the knots that Louie showed us. So, but guys, thank you all so much. Now, we did once upon a time a segment where we called it Costa Ritas.
Mm-hmm.
And we didn't properly film it, I feel like. So we are going to do that tonight. We're going to make Costa Ritas. All right?
Sounds good.
We're going to see if we can do this a little less messy.
We're a little more prepared for the mess. Let's just say that. So Carter, what's the first ingredient in a Costa Rita?
See if we put some ice in there.
I agree. Let's throw some ice in here. Now, when we came up with this drink, it's a great holiday drink. We don't recommend.
Oh, that's a little much ice.
Yeah. Nah, screw it. All right. We'll do that there. When we came up with this drink, it was inspired because we changed our brand of sunglasses to the Hayos. Now, Zach, you've got a real important part.
The most important, tequila.
Well, not too much.
That's a Zach.
Yeah.
It's only 50-50.
He's a 50-50 shooter.
It's actually 90-10 kind of guy.
What do you got over there?
I've got the mix. Ooh. The margarita mix.
Oh.
How about that?
Yeah.
So this actually has some flavor. Again, we don't recommend doing this at home. All the guidelines, yada, 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 blah, 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 blah.
Take a sip.
Yeah.
Oh, not too much. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, we still got other stuff in there.
All right, Billy, you have a little extra flavor.
So yeah, we're gonna hit this with a little bit of peach. Bring it up to a whole nother.
This is a new one. I don't think we did peach last time.
No, we did not.
I don't think
a whole nother little extra flavor.
Peacharita.
Peach coaster.
Just a splash.
Nice.
Oh,
Gives it a
okay,
good
you don't want
color.
to get too peachy.
Nope, not too peachy.
All right, now Teddy. So
Yes.
the tequila is obviously a very important part. All of this is important, but to
What
make
makes
an
it?
actual Costa Rita, what do you recommend without saying the brand of sunglasses you're about to put in there?
The sunglasses that don't work as well.
Okay, we'll go with that. So,
Keep it simple.
so go ahead and put some of those in there.
Pick a pair, or all of them.
Ooh, you went with a full one.
Heck yeah. Send it. Put some pieces in there as well.
All right. Maybe we should blend it up a little bit.
Yeah.
I think just hit it. Just
Let's see what happens.
Just put it all in
Right
there?
now.
Yeah, let's put more in there. All right.
Yeah, hit it.
More ice, maybe?
All right. Well,
Yeah, it is. We do need to add more ice.
Yeah, add a little more ice. Add a little more
It
ice.
needs room to.
Billy, are you sure there's no peach in that?
We're gonna.
you know, I mean, it kind of got diluted a bit.
A little bit.
I think it's more tequila too.
Y'all have never made a margarita.
All right.
Oh no!
Shot a bush light.
That's okay. It looks pretty good.
All right.
It's not terrible.
Make sure you put it on puree.
Yeah.
Yeah. What?
Puree.
Purette?
It's an oyster.
Oh.
Oyster?
Oyster.
Oyster, you mean?
You want to put your hand on
Ice crunch. Blend,
There's no Y.
Mix or chop. It is an oyster.
There's no I.
That's not
or
is it?
Y.
Let's chop it.
Oyster.
Let's chop it.
Or oyster.
All right, let's see what happens.
Let's see which one will actually
Which one?
work.
If this makes it through it, we'd like to be
This one.
sponsored by.
Good.
Oh, this is eating.
Wait a minute.
Oh.
Wait.
I've already got them on.
What's safety protect? Eye protection.
You guys have glasses?
No.
Yeah, I want the new
All
one.
right. Go ahead.
God.
Keep going.
Oh my God.
What's happening?
This smells terrible.
I give it an Oscar, by the way.
All right, we need a little more.
Dang.
Oh man, it's frothy. Oh God,
Frothy. I mean, it really did make a nice slush to it.
It did.
That was off on that one.
Smells like a little bit of burnt plastic for some odd reason. Hold on. A little more peach.
That's the problem. There's not enough.
Yeah.
Oh wow, that's really full. Billy. It's gonna blow. Nope. I know it. All right, hold on.
Oh, it buzzed.
We need more of that. Yep.
Capacity has been reached.
Stir it a little bit.
Billy?
Billy's popping out.
Those are $6 lenses.
Was.
That'll take 3 years to get back.
Oh God.
I think we did it.
Oh,
You broke it.
you gotta shake it a little bit. Yeah, now hit it.
I think we found what the plastic melting
Yeah.
is.
Where's your coaster? Do you have any cups? Nope. Oh, it's actually smoothing out. Oh, never mind. It really is. I mean, I give it to it.
Good job.
Yeah.
These are newer glasses. Which the
I like how it's just
older
slowly
glasses
turning black.
made the blender explode. These ones are holding up, or are not holding up, but the blender is holding up. Yeah, they're experienced. Oh yeah.
I'd be curious to pour this out. Oh.
I'm an electric cord. Where are my socks?
Kill another blender.
Very good.
I'm buying that blender.
I mean, that held up very well until it didn't.
Guys, that's Friday Night Fish Talk.
God, it smells terrible.
We will see you back in 2023. Thank you again for everything. Guys, thank you all very much. And Matt and Hunter,
stuff.
thank you very much for joining us. Kodai over there, and Jordan, and Bentley. Sean, thank you very much for everything you do for the show. Brianna, obviously, we would not be here without you. Guys, we will see you. Like how I got those brownie points? We will see you in 2023. Everyone have a great new year. And yes, we have shrimp.
There we go.
Important question.
I don't know where it came from.
Tune in this Friday.
Tune in this Friday.
Because
I quit this place.